Hello, I'm Donald Gray Drewry, and I am a DUI defense lawyer. For almost 2 decades now, I have been defending people successfully throughout Northern California. If you want specific information about your city, just check out the information here on the website, and it'll give you information about your particular city. You may have been arrested in San Francisco or San Jose or Walnut Creek or one of the other areas that I successfully represent people in. But here's what probably happened to you. If you're like most people, you got pulled over, the officer came up, he asked you for your license, your registration, your proof of insurance, never even told you why they stopped you. After you provided that information, the officer said, "Have you been drinking?" And you, of course, being an honest person, said, "Yes, I have." At that point, all gloves came off. The officer asked you to get out of the car, walk over to a certain area, and then they started asking you some more questions. They didn't tell you that you didn't have to answer those questions. And in fact, you didn't have to answer any of those questions. But you did, and they asked you incriminating things like, when did you sleep last? How long did you sleep? When did you eat last? What did you have to eat? Where are you coming from? What time did you start drinking? What time did you stop drinking? How much did you have to drink? What were you drinking? And they told you that these were pre-field sobriety test questions. Pure garbage. They were gathering information for the prosecutor to prosecute you in this case so that they could give it to the toxicologist. I mean, really, think about it. What difference does it make in doing a one-leg stand or walking the line, as it's commonly referred to? Its technical name is walk and turn test. But what difference would it make if you had had a hamburger 15 minutes before you got stopped, or a steak dinner 3 minutes or 3 hours before you were stopped? Absolutely none. They were gathering information on the absorption, distribution, and elimination of alcohol in your body. And they didn't tell you that. In fact, the officer wasn't really quite fair and frank with you, because in California, you don't have to take field sobriety tests. But the officer didn't tell you that. And once you've done them, of course, they can be used against you. And who's going to give the opinion as to how you did? The officer. And you might have thought that you did really well, but think about it. If the officer thought so, you wouldn't have gone to jail. You wouldn't be looking at this video right now. So all these things came out against you. In addition to that, some officers do it correctly, some don't, but they may have asked you to blow into a little roadside breath machine known as a preliminary alcohol screening device. You didn't have to do that, and the officer has a lawful duty to tell you that you have the right to refuse that. Most of the time, they just tell you to blow into it. Then after that, you're arrested. What do? Sometimes they tow your car. In most cases, they do. They handcuffed you. They put you in the back seat of the car. They asked you if you wanted a breath test or a blood test, and then they took another test when you got to the station, either a breath or a blood, depending on what it was that you chose. In some cases, if the breath machine is not working properly, they'll tell you that you have to take a blood, and that's true. And hopefully you didn't refuse the chemical test, but you should have never taken any of those other tests, and you certainly shouldn't have given them any information, but you didn't know. It's the first time, you think you're being honest, this stuff gets used against you. It's really important that you contact us right away. When they arrested you, they took your license, they gave you a pink piece of paper. That is a temporary license. It means your license is suspended right on the spot, but that suspension is stayed for 30 days. However, at the end of 30 days, it will go into suspension unless you have requested a hearing. And you only have 10 days to do that. And those are calendar days. That means Saturdays and Sundays count also. So hopefully you're watching this video before those 10 days are up, and you'll call me at 510-346-6666 so that we can contact the DMV for you and make sure that you get a hearing. Now, I do that free of charge. I also have free consultations. What I want you to do, and this is really, really very important, I want you to write down everything that happened. I want you to write down what time you got up that day, if you had breakfast, what you had to eat, what time you had lunch, if you went to work, what time did you go to work, what time did you get off, what time did you have dinner. Everything that happened and everything that you can remember during the investigation and arrest, because that's where we're going to find the elements of the crime being bogus or destroy their prosecution and give you a defense. It's very important that you do this. People forget. I want to be able to help you. You get a free consultation. Give us a call. I'm Donald Gray Drewry, and I am a DUI defense lawyer in Northern California. Have been successfully representing people for almost 2 decades. So give us a call, 510-346-6666, or toll free. It's on your screen right here.